You are watching Fugitive Red Eye, and tonight I thought I'd talk about what is known as the Great Red Dwarf Debate. Now, there's an argument that goes on in the Red Dwarf fan base of whether or not the series stays solid throughout its entire run, or whether it declines around Series 7. Now, I can see the sides of both arguments, to be honest, and frankly, that's what I'm here to discuss. First off, let me just start by restating that as a kid, I watched Red Dwarf quite a lot, but I watched it on some old tapes that my dad had taped it on, so I had only seen Series 1 through 4 as a child. I had seen bits and pieces from the other seasons. I'd seen Pete from Series 8, and I'd seen Ouroboros from Series 7. But to be honest, as a kid, I hated Ouroboros, just because of the inconsistencies. I mean, to be fair, the retcons had taken place for Lister's backstory with Kochanski right around Series 4. However, they were never really made fully. They weren't as big of an impact on the series until Series 7 when Kochanski got brought into the series. However, then I would, later on in life, watch all of Red Dwarf on Netflix. And I gotta say, the first time I saw Series 7, I was not happy. I did not like it, and it did piss me off. However, that's not my final thoughts on it now. First off, I'd like to start by saying it is definitely my least favorite of the Red Dwarf seasons. However, I think that it gets kind of a bad rap amongst the community. So, why is it that Series 7 is so hated by the fans, or at least quite a lot of them? Well, I can think of two prime examples here. I'm showing the episode list if you can't see, but Ouroboros and Duck Soup. Those, I think, are the two primary reasons. First off, Ouroboros explains Lister's backstory of being his own father. Now, I apologize for the spoiler. I probably will put a spoiler alert in the description or something. But not only that, but Ouroboros was the first reason not to feature Arnold Rimmer, who over the years I have come to look at as probably my favorite character, which is ironic because my favorite character used to be Lister. I do still love all the characters, but I think that Rimmer really takes the cake, because he's so hateable that it makes him lovable. I mean, he has such a depressing backstory, and nothing ever seems to go his way, and that makes me genuinely feel bad for him, but at the same time, he's a total git, and frankly, he deserves to be treated the way he's treated. Now, Ouroboros wasn't that bad of an episode rewatching it. I've actually been rewatching the series for the second time this year, and probably like the 60th time that I've fucking seen it all together, to be honest. Because of the new season coming out, I've been rewatching every episode of Red Dwarf. But I think that Ouroboros isn't that bad. It's not the worst episode, but it's not by any means great. There are a lot of inconsistencies, which again have been present in the series from its beginning, so it's not new to Series 7, it's been in since Series 2. There's always been inconsistencies, but this really, really brought them to light. Now, I will say this, Ouroboros, it did displease me initially, but I do actually like it. It's alright. There's not a single episode I full-on hate. However, my least favorite episode would be the next one to come after it, which again is Duck Soup. Now, Duck Soup is an episode where Crichton gets jealous of Lister and Kochanski because Lister's giving Kochanski a bath, and he has a misunderstanding thinking that Lister will be present when she does, and then he thinks that he'll get left alone. So he disables the ship's power, causing them to have to crawl around in the air ducts for several hours. This leads to them going in and crawling around in there, and apparently, it gives a little bit more backstory of Lister, showing that apparently he's claustrophobic, and it also shows a little bit more backstory as to, the orphanage he was in and things like that. So those aspects, I guess, could be considered okay for the episode to give you a little bit more backstory, but again, some of these are inconsistent with his initial backstory. Now, I think the thing that makes me like Duck Soup the most, that makes it my least favorite episode of the entire run of Red Dwarf, is the fact that not a lot really happens. It's an incredibly boring episode that's really long and dragged out. I mean, and it even has an extended version on the DVDs, which, because I'm a completionist that has to watch everything in its entirety, every time I rewatch it, I have to watch the extended version. Now, I do think that part of the reason that Duck Soup is so bad is because it wasn't originally going to be part of the series. Originally, they were going to have Identity Within, which is now a lost episode. It would have been the first cat-focused episode, which, again, the storyboards are included on the DVD and have Chris Berry narrating all the characters, which, in my opinion, would have been a much better episode, and I'm hoping they kind of fully realize the plot of it in the new Can of Worms Series 11 finale. Now, for the things that I think are amazing about Series 7 that get overlooked by a lot of people. First off, Series 7 features one of my all-time favorite episodes, Blue, which is the episode where Lister realizes that he misses Rimmer, and he has this dream where he makes out with him. And then, so that, to show him, anytime Lister is feeling upset about Rimmer, Crichton creates this virtual reality to make Lister, to help him relive those happy memories. And that makes him realize he never wants to see that, Weasley line? I can't remember the exact line, damn it. I haven't got to that episode in this rewatch. I currently just finished Duck Soup, which is what prompted me to make this video, actually. Now on to another amazing thing. The return of Norman Lovett. Now, he's only in the final episode of Series 7, and then he's in the entirety of Series 8. Which, and again, I also think Series 8 is an underrated series in the Red Dwarf series, but I'll get on to that in another video, perhaps. Anyway, the thing I think was amazing about that was I didn't really like Hattie Hayridge's Holly. I didn't mind her when I was younger, but as I got older, I realized Norman Lovett's Holly was a much funnier character, just because his deadpan delivery, and he genuinely seemed more computer senile, whereas Hattie Hayridge came across just as kind of incompetent and stupid. And to be fair, I don't hate Hattie Hayridge's version of Holly, but it's definitely no Norman Lovett. Now, I also think that this series is where Crichton's character gets kind of fully formed. His neuroses and how worried he gets about things. And, like, for instance, you get Beyond a Joke, where you see him kind of go crazy because he finds out some truth about his creator. It's pretty funny. Like, Crichton, he goes nuts and he blows up some stuff with a tank in virtual reality. It's funny as hell. And for that reason alone, I don't think this is a horrible series. I do think that the CGI is definitely another factor that turns people off, because up until this point, they were primarily using model shots, which looked a lot more realistic. However, in Series 7, they switched to full CGI for budgetary and time reasons, I think. Don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure. In conclusion, I think Series 7 is definitely the black sheep of the Red Dwarf family, but it is by no means a terrible installment. It's actually still definitely worth watching, especially, I would say, Stoke Me a Clipper, Blue, and Beyond a Joke. Those are by far the 3 best episodes in this series, in my opinion. Epideme and Nanarchy are still both pretty good, and I actually like Ticket to Ride as well. It's pretty funny. Thing is also with this series, they didn't film in front of a live studio audience, so the laugh tracks are just kind of stock added in later, which you can turn off with the 3 extended episodes. I wish you could turn it off on all of them, honestly, but you can't. But that's okay. But in conclusion, Series 7, although not as good as some of the others, I definitely don't think it started a decline in the series. And if anything, Series 8, apart from Series 1 and 2, is definitely one of my favorites. So that's about it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this little discussion here. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you like Series 7 like I do and think that it's underrated? Do you absolutely hate it like a lot of people do? Like I said, I could understand both arguments, and frankly, it is by far the low point, but not bad. But thanks for watching, and have a great day.